Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today it's another tier list to be made and I think we're almost getting like halfway there. We've done a lot of countries already and today we're starting on the letter L because that's how far we've gone through all of the countries. Latvia of course debuted in 2000, so we don't have that many songs to go through today to put into this tier list, but there are still quite a few, and just by kind of looking at the songs here on the screen, we have a lot of variation in terms of quality, according to my subjective opinion here, which we will find out very shortly. But I think most people, or at least I hope most people, can agree that they had a pretty good debut, I think. In 2000, Latvia sent My Star, and this is it's fantastic. In my opinion, this just never fails to make me incredibly happy. I think it's so charming. The song has such a beautiful, wonderful melody that really flows so well on top of this really dreamlike and very upbeat and just joyous instrumental. Just going hand in hand with this performance, which has a ton of charisma, a ton of just the right approach for a song like this. I think everything just really clicks and works in this song, and I really do love it to bits. Every time I watch this performance, I can't stop smiling, you know? It's all I get out of this. It's a wonderful song with a fantastic melody, and a really bright and upbeat backing track. Going hand in hand with a performance that I just adore. Can't really be anything other than fantastic, really. Love it. Just love it. And in 2001, I don't love it, not at all. Too much. What happened? Honestly, this song is just quite obnoxious, I think. Every idea here just falls flat, in my opinion. The song doesn't really have a silver lining where it wants to be. The chorus is quite obnoxious, in all honesty. It's very repetitive, and at the same time, it doesn't really offer any type of melodic variation or anything to latch onto intonation-wise. Random shouts just appearing in the hook of the song, which are kind of off-putting. The performance is quite weak, I think. I hate his styling. Not that I should really care about that, but for some reason I do. Yeah, just what happened here. You start off with My Star, and you have this, and the year after it, you go and win the whole thing with I Wanna. This is a really great entry for me. Not quite on par with My Star. I don't really get that same... I mean, it's not the same type of song, but I don't get as much enjoyment out of this one. However, I really do just enjoy watching the performance of this. And I'm a great fan of the backing track as well. I think the instrumental is really great. It has its own identity. It has a tone that really is quite striking. I love the instrumentation with the whole Latino-inspired vibe that it has. And I think it's quite a quirky performance with great ideas being put in there. And they execute it incredibly well, which I guess is the reason why they ended up winning with this song. I wouldn't, as I say, put it really on par with My Star. I think My Star is a much superior song, especially melodically. But I Wanna still just has a lot of great characters, like a great characteristic to it, and many great ideas in the instrumental, I think. And as well, in the performance as well. I think the performance might be the main selling point. But regardless, I think it's really great. So it just makes this 2001 effort just so off, like it's just off next to these songs. I don't get it. 2003 came along, they hosted, they sent Hello from Mars, which I think is a cute song. It doesn't really have that incredible memorability to it, but I think there's a nice hook in there. I like them on stage, and I think there's like sections of the song where I think the flow is quite well, the song flows quite well into between segments. And it's quite charming the way it's performed as well. I think it's solid. I don't think the song is too much to write home about, but I still just really enjoy what they're doing with it. But it just doesn't really have those redeeming qualities that I think really make it stand out. It's just a bit catchy, very cute, enjoyable for 3 minutes, but not much more than that in my opinion. But still, solid. 2004. I think this. The thing is, okay. I think this is quite cute as well. I get happy from this song. I mean, the instrumental is quite solid, and I think the melody is really just it makes me happy. It's upbeat and it just has that kind of character to it, which I really enjoy. But when you see the whole package of everything here and it's presented and the full runtime of the song, you have it for 3 minutes. It just kind of becomes a bit forgettable, I guess is the right word for it. I just think this one really gets lost within the competition, I guess. I do enjoy it, but it's not one of those songs that I really will remember at any point. So I will put it in the I like it but category because I do like the song that's there, but I just don't really think it has that ability to really captivate me and get me dragged in and invested into it. But still, I like the song that is there. I just wish there was more to it. And a song I think there is much more to is The War Is Not Over from 2005. This is fantastic again for me. Just beautifully written, especially I think lyrically is its main selling point. But I also am always a fan of these guitar-driven songs where it's quite restrained, minimalistic, and you really rely on the beautiful sound of a guitar, or two in this case. And just build the song around that. You have a message, you have a point with the song, you have a melody that's quite strong, I think. And it just flows everything together. You don't need to expand it too much. You can keep it restrained. They add some detailing in here with varied instruments, which don't take over the soundstage. They just kind of add their own thing to it and make it like make sure that the song keeps kind of expanding and keeps going somewhere instead of just relying on the same minimalistic style throughout, which I really like. And I also like the section towards the end where one of the guys is running out. Like they're not sitting the whole song, which is quite a nice touch. You know, it's simple, but it's things like these that you have to kind of keep in mind to make sure that you don't lose the engagement from the audience, I guess you could say. I think it's beautifully performed, fantastically well written song, nicely arranged. Just love everything about it, really. 2006, I think this is really charming. I realized that I'm kind of a sucker for a cappella songs, at least in Eurovision. I never listen to them otherwise, but they just work for me in Eurovision somehow. I think it's charming, and I think "I Hear Your Heart" here is just that as well. I don't think there's much to the song as a whole package. It's kind of weird at parts. Like the opening of this song is incredibly odd, and I think a lot of people just kind of start rolling their eyes when they see the opening of the song if they haven't heard the song before. But once the song progresses and gets going, I just kind of get dragged into it and the wackiness of everything that's going on and the dancing robot towards the end. It's just, trying to explain the song and the performance of it is absurd. And when you see it, it's probably even more so. But I really just enjoy it. I think it's, I think it's really great. Wow, I'm gonna get so slated in the comments now, but that's okay. You're free to disagree with me on this one, but I just get too much enjoyment out of this. It makes me happy. I get really dragged into it, and when they start doing their choreo of nodding their heads and moving their bodies back and forth, side to side, I kind of go along with it. It's weird, but I really just enjoy everything about it. So I have to put it up here. I have to be honest with myself. I can't just pretend to not like it for the sake of me looking more like my opinion matters. My opinion doesn't really matter, and I do really enjoy this one. So I'll put it up here in really great. It kind of looks out of place next to I Wanna, but I don't care. 2007, Questa Notte. This, whenever I think of this song, I always think like, oh, what a snooze that was. But whenever I see it, like whenever I actually set out to watch it again, I kind of get a little bit dragged into it. I think the backing track is really what makes it, because the instrumental is quite grand. And it just works when their harmonies and the different vocalists really work together. They're very well prepared, I guess. I mean, they've planned out everything of how they're supposed to do their own vocal thing, and then the harmonies just work together really well. It's just well packaged, and I think the staging layout is quite pretty. It just works. It's a bit too slow for my personal liking. It doesn't really have that captivating moment. But I think the backing track has enough of a gromness and the vocal arrangement is strong enough to put it in a solid tier. But it's not something that I really write home about and that I want to watch over and over again. I never really set out to watch this performance, but I've seen the 2007 final a few times, and every time this comes on, it's better than I remember it being. Or I like it more than I expect myself to like it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's kind of the thing that I feel about this song. Something that doesn't relate to at all is Wolves of the Sea, because I always think of this song as, oh, this was kind of funny, and it's fun that they did this, and it's fun that Europe appreciated it, but whenever I watch it, I simply can't. It's so far from being my thing. I think the performance is just not very appealing. I mean, it's funny if you're into this type of humor, but I guess I'm not, because I just find it incredibly annoying. The hook is catchy, but it's that type of catchy that makes me upset. I don't want to hear this hook over and over again. I don't want to watch the performance, even though it's ambitious of how they've staged it and the effects on stage and everything. It's ambitious, but it's just not for me, not at all. Can't really get behind it in any way. So no. And we're gonna keep on the same track here. I think Probka is it's all over the place, and I guess that is the point. I mean, it's the 7/8 time signature, which I guess is admirable that it's being used in Eurovision, but the song is just shouting over itself throughout 3 minutes. There are some nice moments with some vocal arrangements that are drawn out notes, but then there's this constant shouting of kind of missing a melodic intonation as well. It's all over the place. It kind of becomes a chore to sit through after a while for me personally, because I think it's just too loud, too in my face. I don't like it. It's not for me. And what for is, it's not for me either. I think this drags on way too much. There's like something in the song, in the backing track, that I think is quite atmospheric. And there's kind of a nice approach to it somewhere, that it really wants to be a bit thought-provoking and a bit dramatic, but it just falls flat for me. I get kind of, I don't want to say bored, but that's really what I get when I watch it and listen to it. And I think the hook is quite repetitive. Doesn't offer much of a rhythm anytime at this song, so I think it drags too much. It's a bit stale, a bit static. Not for me. But their effort in 2011 is actually for me. Angel in Disguise, I think this definitely has a hook which has a great melody to it. Nice rhythm in it. The backing track is quite strong. I like the sound of the guitar, and I like the whole... It's a very modern pop sounding production behind it as well, at least, especially for being 2011. I mean, this song could easily have been made today, and I wouldn't doubt it. I think it sounds great. I think the hook is quite strong. Performance is a bit lackluster, I guess, but minor setback really for me personally. I am tempted to put this in really great. And I think I'm going to do that actually. I quite really enjoy this one. Whenever I listen to it, I enjoy it. So I'll put it up here. I'll be nice. I mean, if I put "I Hear Your Heart" up here, I can put anything up here really. But yeah. No, I actually lied, because something that I could never put up there is "Beautiful Song." This is my... I don't really have songs that I despise other than "Celebrate" from Croatia in 2011. This is not too far away from that. I think this is too happy, I guess. Like, everything is done with such... It looks so forced, and I can't stand that. The song has, like, the hook of this song, I get that the melody is kind of catchy. I think some people can really get into it because it has a nice rhythm to it. It moves along quite nicely on the backing instrumental as well. But I just can't watch this. It's like the staging is so empty, and everyone who's on stage are constantly smiling, and it gives me shivers. I simply can't. What happened there? I don't know. No. 2013, here we go. They're in quite a poor streak of songs here, Latvia. I mean, it's a lot of non-qualifiers here. But Here We Go is actually a song I think is kind of done with the right approach. This is just meant to get people engaged, to kind of get people to wake up, I guess. I don't know. It's a party atmosphere type of song. It's really upbeat. I like the whole charisma and everything on stage. It's a fun performance. I think where it kind of falls a little bit flat is vocally. I don't think it's vocally very strong, but I really enjoy the effort of just making something that's quite harmless and just making something that wants to make people have fun. So I'll put it in I like it, but because I really do think that vocally it's quite a letdown, unfortunately. If it was performed with more if it was more convincingly performed vocally, I think it could have, maybe it wouldn't have qualified because it did really poorly, but I think there is something in here that I really do enjoy. But it just didn't work vocally, I think. Yeah. 2014, I don't need to say anything. It's a song about baking a cake. It's done so. Oh, I just don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want anything to do with it. Sorry. Oh, it's horrendous. I'm sorry. 2015 is definitely not horrendous. Love Injected. I think this is another fantastic effort from them. I think staging is just incredible for this song. I love the layout on stage. The lighting is incredible. The use of shadows throughout the song, fantastic. I think the music for what it is quite strong, but it doesn't really have that kind of cohesiveness to it. I think what it really is that makes it so incredible musically is the dynamics that it really has. But I just have a feeling like the chorus has too much of these like long notes and it's just wide pads. It's a charming kind of approach, but it doesn't really click with me all the way. I still think it's fantastic. I'm not gonna like obviously I put it up here, but I think this is one of those songs where I could have easily put it in the absolute top tier and think it's one of the greatest songs, period. But I don't really connect with the chorus. I think the strongest part of the song is actually the outro. It's absolutely the outro when it's just kind of keeps going. The evolution is just taking place, and you actually reach this climax that the song really builds towards. I also quite enjoy the verses of how like minimalistic and kind of tribal they sound in their tone. It's nice. There's a lot of nice contrasts and the use of dynamics here. The only thing that really hinders it from being the top tier is the chorus for me. I just don't click with it personally. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still fantastic, but this category is reserved for just songs that I think are absolutely flawless flawless for my taste. So it's yeah, still fantastic. Love it. Also love Heartbeat. Wow, this song. Ooh, this song is just a fantastic pop song. Really love the sound design. Love the production. The production quality on this song is honestly incredible. It sounds fantastic even 6 years later in 2022. Just sounds great. The vocals are incredible. What really makes this song not go all the way is I'll start going against these songs that I love so much just because I don't want to put them up here. I think this one is staged not quite to the level that I really want it to be. It's a bit too empty on stage. I like the color scheme, but not really. There isn't enough going on here. There doesn't have to be too much going on. I still think it's fantastic, obviously, but for it to really reach the top tier for me, there has to be something. I don't know what, but there has to be something. But for being like the song on its own, it's just flawless pop song with a creative approach, great instrumental, great vocal performance, memorable hook. Everything just works. I love it. Might be no. I'm not gonna pick one of these four. I love them all. I won't say anything. 2017, however, this not for me. The song kind of tries to be what the previous two efforts have been with the same type of production. It's just that the production quality here is far less on par. It just doesn't really have that explosive touch. It doesn't have the same kind of dynamics. It doesn't have the same drive. and I think it's way too repetitive to really match the previous efforts here. The hook is quite memorable, and I like the fact that it's driven by synth so heavily, but it's too repetitive. It's too monotonous as well. The melody needs a little bit more variation. Vocally, it falls flat completely. And that's what I mean. I could have put this in the solid category, but when you see the performance, or when I see the performance, I just don't really like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. There's like this colorful bomb on stage. It's too much, and vocally, it's quite weak. I think it just doesn't work for me. It's just not for me. 2018. This is solid. I think has a nice tone to it. Very suggestive and really relies on this kind of I'm not sure, like there's a suspenseful tone in the backing track, and it really works with the lyrical content of the song as well. I think it's well performed. It just doesn't really have that type of memorability that it really needs to have. It doesn't go all the way. There's not really an evolution in the song at any time. It just kind of keeps going for 3 minutes, and it's an enjoyable 3 minutes, but it never goes the extra step or whatever you say. But still a solid effort. I guess I'm also a little bit bitter that they didn't send Southern Lights this year, but you can't have it all, not every time. 2019, I forgot what the song is called, but it's quite pretty. Just doesn't really have enough to it, I think. I think the verses are probably better than the chorus. I think the chorus is a bit too repetitive. It just keeps looping itself, and that kind of just drags it down. Like the stage layout, like the backing track, but I'm not sold on the chorus, so I'll put it in this category here. I don't really have much more to say about it, to be honest. It's a shame, because I think there's something in this song that really just works for me, but the chorus lets it down a little bit. Still Breathing. I think it's such a shame that this song wasn't allowed to participate in Eurovision, and the next one was. I'll put The Moon is Rising already in Not For Me. I think this song has such horrendous production quality. It's just shouty. Don't like the performance. The performance looks very off, especially with the visual effects on the screen and how empty the stage is. It just doesn't work. While I think that Still Breathing has just the right amount of charm to it, it's shouty in a good way. I like the rapping verse section. It has a great backing track during that section. And I think the song, its production quality is far superior. So I don't really know what happened here. The drop section or whatever, I mean, you could be really turned off by it, or you could love it to bits. I quite enjoy it. I wouldn't say I love it to bits, but I think it's very fun and a lot of charm to it. I'll put this one in really great, because I get so much enjoyment out of Still Breathing. And I like the vocal approach that it has. It's fun, it's memorable, it's catchy for me, and it's unfortunately far superior to The Moon is Rising. I would have wished for them to switch. 2022 then, we ended off with another really great one, I think. This, I'm actually really sad that they missed out on the final with this one, because it was performed so well. That's the main thing, I think. The song has kind of a lot of great qualities instrumental-wise, but I think what really sells it is the performance, and how just the whole focus of everything is just to entertain and make people happy. And that's, I mean, they're professionals at that. It's so much fun to watch. The energy on stage is incredible, and I get so happy watching it and listening to the song as well. I wouldn't really go out of my way and listen to the studio cut. I don't think I've ever done that. But I definitely go out of my way to watch the performance, because it makes me happy. I smile when I see them on stage, and when I hear this just kind of this just odd piece of music right here, which is done, with a fair share of quite solid songwriting, solid production, but mostly just tons of fun, really. And just the right approach they've taken to it. The charisma is incredible. The energy is just spot on. I love watching it. Really great. And that is my Latvia tier list. As I said in the opening, there's going to be a lot of, just varied... The songs are going to cover the whole spectrum here, and there's quite a few in every category, except the top one. But I think like some of these songs could definitely be up here. I just maybe I'm just grumpy today. I don't know. But there are also these songs that down here I just can't. I can't with them. That's just me. But that would be my Latvian tier list. Do tell me what you would change for your Latvian tier list. Maybe you would change everything and just turn it upside down. What do I know? But I hope you enjoyed watching my tier list, and do tell me how you would have ranked the songs if you want to in the comments. And I'll be looking forward to hopefully seeing you in another video soon. So take care of yourselves until then, and